Hey, what's going on? Danish Wasim here, and I just thought I'd make a video because I came across this news article on my Facebook wall feed, and it was from Ctvnews, and it just outraged me to the point where I just felt the need that I had to make a video. And the content of the article was basically comparing Toronto's or Canada's house renting market versus New York, and Toronto versus New York, if you want to do that comparison. And it just outraged me to the point because when I saw the infograph, it just boggled my mind. Because just to give you some of the numbers here, what they did was they compared Toronto, and they said that the bachelor apartment is for $902, one bedroom apartment is for 1,085, two bedroom is for 1,269, and three bedroom is for 1,495. And then when they did the New York City comparison, it said that the bachelor is 28, or let's just say 2,900. One bedroom is 3,400. Two bedroom is 3,765. Three bedroom is 3,932. Um, and I don't even know where they came up with the numbers. And these statistics were actually from uh, rentseeker.ca, and it's one of the largest online apartment search sites. And I don't even know where they came up with this number. It just boggled my mind to the point where it just made me angry, and angry because there's so much shit that happens here that it just bullshit. At first I let it go, and then but I always come across things that like blogto does, and they're like, oh, Toronto or Canada, best city in the world, the happiest people in the world, yada yada yada. How do you even measure that? How do you even measure in metrics or financial terminology the value of happiness or love and whatnot? I mean, you can't compare them, and to have this attitude of superiority complex because we're better than the Americans, or inferiority complex that, oh, we're nothing compared to the Americans, is just wrong on both sides. And in the words of Jon Stewart, the war on bullshit must go on, and this is my war on bullshit because it is fucking bullshit to the point where I just cannot take it anymore. Like it's just pissing me off right now, and we're not the best in the world. We're far from it, and that's not to say that I'm trying to discourage Canadians or individuals. We have a lot of room for improvement, and as a patriotic citizen of this place, it is my duty to point out the ills and the wrongs and fix it. You don't compare yourself to others. Like Usain Bolt doesn't compare himself to others. He breaks his own record. That's the benchmark of you competing with yourself to improve as you go on. That's the whole reason you do that. HP had that model as well at one point in time. And second of all, to compare New York with Toronto is not even comparing Big Apple to an orange. It's not even an apple and orange analogy. It's like more like, I don't know, like Big Apple to a tangerine, or even better, like an apple to a grape, because the size of it is ridiculous. Like, just to show you, this is like old statistics, 2012 consensus, but Toronto's population ranks 51. New York ranks number 8. The largest city with population is Tokyo, Japan; Jakarta, Indonesia; Seoul, South Korea; Delhi, India; Shanghai, China; Manila, Philippines; Karachi, Pakistan; and then it's New York. It didn't even make the top 50 list. And you can't compare New York with a socialist kind of a environment where the goal is to be, well, essentially just like, hey, everyone needs to be in middle class, or at best be like upper middle class. New York is not like that. New York is all about the hustle. If you have ever lived in New York, or if you ever been to New York, you know it's all about the hustle. It's always about the hustle. Everyone is on the hustle. Everyone is on the grind, and everyone is just trying to make it rich. It's the capitalist mindset. It's where Fortune 500 companies are. It's where Nasdaq is. It's where S&P is. It's where the New York Stock Exchange is. It's where the UN is headquartered. How are you gonna compare like just miles and miles of just buildings and complex to like a place like Toronto and say, well, Toronto is like cheaper and this and that? Why are you even making that comparison? Like, are you insecure to the point where you need to draw those comparisons, or are you just trying to prove that we are better than the Americans? Because if America wasn't around, trust me, we would be more like Finland or Sweden. No one would give a shit, trust me, or Iceland. And stop deflating and inflating these numbers just to feed your own, superiority or inferiority complex, because it makes no sense. If we compete ourselves, our situation improves. We have a lot to work on as a country, as a citizen, as an individual, as a family member, as a neighbor, as whatever it may be. We need to work on that. And it and lastly, it just goes to point the amount of denial there is. Like, you should be proud. Of course you should be proud, but don't become ignorant to the point where you just are proud because you think you're proud. And you can't back that up with substance. Because there is no substance. Just because we are happy and we're the friendliest people, you think that it gives us a birthright or a privilege that we can go around dictate to the world how everyone else should live. Let them live how they have to live. You live the way you want to live, and don't draw that comparison, because if you have to compare, then the numbers are not in your favor, simply put. And now, I said my piece, and like the delusional, crazy idiots are just gonna go around, and the trolls are gonna start like chomping in on this. And you know what? I already know what they're gonna say, so bring it on. And I'll see you in the hate column below, and leave your comments so I can respond to them and school you as well. And I know the shit they're gonna say is like, oh, well, if you like America so much, why don't you go live there? Yeah, I went there, and I go back and forth, so relax. Well, if you like it, well, why don't you just like leave, take away citizenship? Fuck you, go fuck yourself. And you're like ungrateful, man. This country has the best healthcare. We have the best, like, people. We have the best. We can go to Cuba. We can do this. We can do that. We're like multicultural. We're diverse. We're this. We're that. And trust me, even on those fronts, we're not doing that well. We are not doing that well. And these were things in the past we were once proud of. But now we can't even be proud of that, because America also has things like that. They can also go to Cuba now. They can also do the same thing. They have way more diversity, from religious diversity to ethnic diversity to you name it. I mean, the amount of people that are there in America, it's a multiple. It's not even like a comparison where you can be like, hey, 33 million, and you can compare it. The entire population of Canada can be summed up in just California. And California has 4 times less debt than just Toronto. And then when you compare that, they're like, oh, well, like John Tory's like, oh, well, you can't compare California with Toronto. It's not the right comparison. So then don't compare yourself to New York either. Don't compare yourself to all these other statistics, and then be just lying about these statistics to the point where you're just like, okay, as a Canadian, as a Torontonian, as someone who lives in one of the major cities, you're looking at that and saying, where are these numbers coming from? So anyways, I look forward to your comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the comment section below.